I'm here with Kristy Walden of Fire Mountain Gems and Beads. And Kristy, you're going to show us how to do some interesting links using metal clay.
Right. There's squares and links. This takes a lot of pre-planning when you're using metal clay. 80% of your work is done before you fire.
Wow,
so
that's interesting, yeah.
You have to have all of your tools all at hand so that you know what you're going to be doing and that you can just easily pick them up. Let's talk about tools a little bit. We have a roller, Teflex, which is a non-stick material. I have playing cards that are going to tell me my thickness.
Right. Are those just
this
two
is
of them
2
together?
millimeter. Right, it's 2 millimeters. I have a syringe that I'm going to use.
And of course you're...
Right, of course a ruler. This is a clay cutter that I'm going to use to cut the clay.
Okay.
Other tools that we'll get into later.
And let's talk about the clay.
The clay is a recycled product from film.
Oh.
They take the silver nitrate out of 35 millimeter film and combine it with a binder, and it comes into a malleable, formable material that is
gorgeous. Look at that. You'd never think that turns into what it turns into.
It's really up to your imagination as to what you want to do.
When you take it out of the package, do you need to keep it moist and you need to start kneading it right away?
It is air sensitive, and you do have to knead it. That's why you have to be pre-planned and know what you're doing.
So as soon as you take it, once it hits the air, you need to start rolling
you need to
and
start
kneading.
Working away.
Okay.
So this is a very repetitious piece. There's 45 links. There's the squares and then the links.
And that's
45
to make the
of
necklace.
each to make the necklace. Okay? So it's simple. And what you do is you get it ready. You roll it out. This is going to have the 2 millimeters.
And of course the cards is going to let you know.
Exactly. It keeps it all even and on a balance. Okay, now what I'm doing...
Just moving it around.
It's that simple. It gets it real flat.
Great.
It's a simple thing. This is like a cookie cutter. And I'm cutting out.
Wow. Oh, and you just press it down to get it out.
Exactly. And it has a little spring.
Oopsie. Love that.
It looks like a piece of hair. It'll burn off. There. There's 3.
Okay.
And you save all your extra.
Save it all.
Save it all. Then you can take a smaller one to cut out the center.
Oh.
Okay, it's that simple.
Okay. Now, you were saying that there's 40 links in the necklace?
It takes 40 to make the necklace.
Okay, so you have to do 40 of these.
So then once you get all 40 of these done, you have to let them sit and dry.
Okay, and how long does it need to dry?
You can put them in a dehydrator or you can put them on a hot plate. And a hot plate takes about 10 minutes. Dehydrator takes about a half hour.
Okay.
Okay. Then you have to clean them. And you just need to take simple fingernail file and clean the edges and make sure that there aren't any...
So they're smooth?
Yeah, that it's not going to snag anything. I'll test it on my clothes to make sure it doesn't snag. Do the inside as well, so I've cut that so that it fits inside and cleans.
Perfect.
Okay?
Okay.
Then you have to start making your links.
That's how you attach it together.
Exactly. Let's put those aside. Again, you take and you roll out your clay.
All right.
Now, each of these links is 2 inches long.
Okay, so each of them is 2 inches.
The hardest part is that you have to do each one at a time. You can't do a whole bunch of them because we're going to have to put that curve in there.
And then because the clay is going to dry.
And it dries out and you can't do it. So I get it started, roll it up a little bit.
Right.
Roll it back out, excuse me. May look a little silly there. I don't think that's going to be long enough. It's not 2 inches, sorry.
It's okay.
Get it going.
Get it all kneaded in.
Yeah, get it there.
And that's important, though, because you got to make sure that it's perfect. Sometimes you may have to start over.
And you can. That's the neat part.
Because it's malleable.
It's very forgiving. Okay. Then I use the clay cutter and cut one end of it so that it's flat.
Right.
Okay. Then I take and I just look for my 2 inches. We're barely going to be there. Barely, but I'm going to take it there.
Okay.
Then I'm going to cut one side so that it's level.
So you've got a flat side.
So I've got my flat side. Then I'm going to take the stylus. This is really kind of a funny way to do this, but I need this to be 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to take, and I balance this down here, and I line that up along the edge, and then at 1/4 inch, I'm just going to put a little hole.
Okay.
And I'm going to go up and up.
And what is that hole for?
And up. I'm going to use it as a marker to cut it. Then it's even.
There you go.
Okay, so it's simple.
Perfect.
Now this has to connect these two.
Oh, so that's your link in between.
That's my link. So
Your
I'm going to
connector
bend it a little bit, and real quick before it goes down, I'm going to get it in there. Boink. All right? Then I'm going to turn it sideways, and I use a popsicle stick. And I lay the popsicle stick in there, like that. Turn it back around. Put a little bit of syringe on one side. And use that as my glue.
Gotcha.
And then I'm going to put it over on top of itself. And I eyeball it to make sure that it's about 1/8 of an inch inside there.
Right.
I pull it out.
And that just
That it's there.
slides out.
And then I use this ball tip stylus. And I make a little indentation that makes it look like a rivet.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
And then you
And I
just
pull
slide
that out. And then you have to let it dry.
Okay.
Then you need to roll another one. Once you get you do 2x2s, and then you do 4x4s, and then you do 8x8s, and you just keep going.
And
You
it
keep
depends,
going.
of course, on what you're making. If you're making a bracelet, or if you're making earrings,
Exactly.
or you're making a necklace, you're just going to keep going.
Exactly.
And you have to do every single one.
Every one individually.
Every single one individually.
Right.
Wow.
Then once you've got them all attached and together, then it has to be fired. Of course, it has to be dry. But then
Right.
you fire it at 1250 degrees for 30 minutes.
Perfect. Love it.
Then I don't even brush it when it's finished. When it's out of the kiln, I throw it right into a rock tumbler and let it shine.
Wow.
It's that simple.
Perfect. Now, how long do you keep it in the rock
I keep it in the rock tumbler overnight.
Overnight. Great. And you're looking right now at the bracelet, which goes along perfectly with it. And then we also, you can see that's the necklace, and it just depends. It takes 40 of them to make the necklace, and you could just make different variations. And then over here, quickly, you've also brought some other different metal clay
They're all
pieces.
Right, they're art clay.
Art
The
clay.
leaf was an actual leaf that I painted the art clay on, and then fire it, and the leaf itself fires off. And then there's the silver clay mixed with the copper.
Oh, that's a lovely combination. It's great.
I like mixing metals.
Well, thank you so much, Kristy. That was a lot of fun. Well, next up, we're going to go off to the bead show, and you get to meet 2 wonderful designers.